So we'll come to the 2014 A-level question. Now in this year, I told you, given that 2013 was hard, 2014, they made the paper very easy. You know what they did? They made it so easy. They gave 2 questions from unit number 1. See, there is question number 1 has these subparts, okay? And then they gave another question, 2014 A-level question number 2. This was also from unit number 1, right? This also had certain things, right, to show it on a PPC and, different opportunity costs and different types. They give 2 questions from unit number 1. That's why I told you they made the unit easy. They gave 2 questions from unit number 2 and 3 also. So I think there was no question in the 2014 paper from unit number 4, the production cost, short run, long run, right? You can go and check. As far as I remember, there was no question from that. So they made the paper so easy, putting questions from the easiest unit. That will not happen in your year, don't worry. Okay, but these are exception kind of papers. Okay, so we'll quickly do 2014 and then I'll give you all a small break. Okay, right. Now explain why societies always face the problem of choice. You can write the same thing that we explained, guys. Okay, now we did this question. So you can start with saying limited resources. There are unlimited bonds. So this leads to scarcity. These scarce resources have alternative uses. You can give an example. You can give like a plot of land, different things like that. So you can't do everything that you want. You have to make a choice. So you can stop from there. Is that okay? Manageable now. Same question we discussed. Same thing repeated, guys. They ask the same thing in a different way. Why do societies face the problem of choice? So you explain. Therefore, you have to do a choice. Yes. Now these things you have to practice writing. Okay. Now I know you all understand this, but also I know that you don't know how to put this into writing. That is why I keep saying over and over again, you have to write answers. You will never be okay with essay questions by just looking at a screen or watching a recording. You have to take a piece of paper, a pen, write proper answers. So please do that, right? Make sure that you all do that and come. Then the next one. How does entrepreneurship differ from the other factors of production? Again, a very easy one. It's directly there on my tutor also. So I'll just copy it and paste it. Entrepreneurship. Yeah. How does entrepreneurship differ from the other factors of production? You can write something like this. So what kind of things can you write? You can write things like this. So you can say an entrepreneur is someone who combines the factors of production. Remember, we talked about the functions of an entrepreneur. So you can say an entrepreneur combines the factors of production and produces a good or service, while the other factors of production, they are merely employed in that process. They don't combine or anything. Then you can say an entrepreneur bears a risk. He could either get a profit or a loss. But other factors of production, they don't bear any risk. They have a guaranteed return. Then you can say an entrepreneur makes policy decisions. He makes the main decisions of a company. While the other factors, they will simply follow those decisions or they will implement those decisions. The entrepreneur will say, let's do this, let's do that. What does the other people do? They just follow that. Then an entrepreneur will engage in innovations and all of that, while the others don't. So that kind of thing is a nice answer for 4 marks, guys. So please don't write again, don't draw tables. Okay, give it in 4 nice points so that your examiner would, every point he would mark and give you 1 mark. Then you would end up getting the total 4 marks. Guys, I am factor production known as other factors. Yes, so other factors of production is the land, labor, and capital. So they are asking, how does entrepreneurship differ from the others? Land, labor, and capital. Okay. Yes, make sure that you all stick to these answer formats. Now, I know some of you all must be wondering, Ayo, my teacher told me don't write like this. No, I told like this, right? I'm telling you guys, I have done this, right? I wrote answers like this. I've got a A1 for econ. I was also among the top 50 in the island during 2017. I have students whom I taught, right? Complete private candidates who were district first and who had island ranks. Right? That means they've completely studied econ under me, not under any other one. And still, if they were able to become district first and all of that, that means these methods are working. So please trust me when I say this. right? Don't, try to be that Pandita fellow, no, I'll write whatever I want. Don't be that kind of person. Listen and get that done, right? I understand it's a free class. Now, sometimes, like I said, remember at the very beginning, when the class is free, you don't value it. You'll be useless fellow is doing a class for free. Yeah. So don't be with that attitude. Try to get the best out of the class and write answers, guys. Trust me, past papers alone, if you can do all the past papers, that is 2011 to 2022. That's what I'm doing a class with you all now. These past papers alone can help you get to around a level of a 70, 75, guys. Because same question comes again and again and again and again. So make sure you're 100% thorough with this. Done. Then we'll go to the next one. Distinguish between capital and investment. Again, an interesting story. Now, this was a little bit of a tricky question, not the easiest of questions. So one part of this, guys. Now, you all know what is capital. So you can start off your answer with talking about what is capital. You can say capital is all man-made resources used in the production process. They are the real assets which are tangible, such as, buildings, machines. You can write that. And what do you write on the investment side of it? For investment side of it, you can say, guys, how is capital formed? Remember, at one part of the unit, we studied the relationship between savings, capital, and investment. Yeah. Do you all remember in unit number 1? Distinguish means, guys, to show the difference between the two. Yeah. So you can say that capital is formed through investment. When there is investment, capital is accumulated. That kind of thing you have to say, right? Let me show you the answer. Give me a second. 2014. What is this question? Okay, for some reason the answer is not there in my paper, right? Okay. Okay. So what kind of things can we write? Let me type it. Okay. Okay. So, sorry. Okay. You can start off your answer, like I said, guys, write about capital. What is capital and all of that. So what is capital? You can say they are man-made, right? Man-made resources used in the production process, or in other words, they are produced. Then you can say, you can give some examples. You can say capital are real assets. You can give some examples like buildings, motor vehicles. You can talk about that. Then, right, what can you tell about investment? Okay, Q1 page 11. Okay, that is also there, no? That's this one. What can you tell about investment? Right, nice. I have a nice answer. Investment is what? The allocation of resources, completely correct, right? Investment is the allocation of resources for the creation of capital. Or in other words, in order to accumulate capital. So you can, real assets means, guys, physical, tangible assets. That's what real assets mean. Okay. So you can say, in other words, capital in an economy is created through investment. And you can also say, yes, you can say, okay, stock and flow concept. What can you say, guys? Remember stock concepts and flow concepts. What can you tell about capital? Is it a stock concept or a flow concept? Remember, stock means you can measure it at a point of time. So I can say today, right now, at this moment, we have this much amount of capital. Flow means for a period of time. It's a stock concept, right? Capital is a stock concept. So for example, now I can say, okay, let's say in my business right now, as at 13th of March, 6:05 p.m., I have one laptop, one table, one chair, I have one printer, I have one Wi-Fi connection. I can tell, no, I can say this is the exact capital I have at this given point of time. But then if you take investment, what does that? What is that? Is it a stock concept? Can I say investment at this very moment is this much? I can't, right? Investment is a flow concept. So I can say the investment in my business or the investment of Sri Lanka in the year 2023 for a period of time. So remember, what does this stock and flow mean, guys? So can be measured at a given point of time. That is what a stock concept means. Okay, you all would have learned this under unit number 1. What is a flow concept? Is measured for a period of time. Okay, that is what a flow concept is about. That was the question. What's the meaning of investment includes only newly formed capital goods? That is net investment, right? So investment is the allocation related to paid capital, right? In other words, capital in an economy is created through investment. You can also say, guys, what is net investment? Now, connect a little bit about your unit number 5. Remember gross investment and net investment. Net investment is gross investment minus what? Minus from your gross investment. If you deduct, what do you get? Net investment is C, right? Capital depreciation, consumption of fixed capital, in other words, depreciation. So then what is net investment, guys? You can say net investment is the newly added capital stock to the economy. Now, what does that mean? Now, see, for example, let's say, okay, okay, this year in 2022, last year, let's say the economy had investment worth, let's say 1,000 million. Okay, they had how much investment worth? Okay, investment worth 1,000, let's say billion. That is gross investment. But on the other side, there was also depreciation. So gross investment was worth 1,000 billion. But on the other side, there were some previous investments, right? Previous amount of capital that has got depreciated now. Okay. So let's say, I don't know, 600 billion worth of our capital, that is, let's say, buildings, machines, have now got depreciated. So what is the new addition this year, guys? We have made 1,000 billion investment. 600 billion of our previous investments have got kind of depreciated, then capital has got depreciated. So what is the new addition that we have done this year? The new addition to our capital stock is how much? It's that 400 billion, no? That is what I'm saying here, guys. See, I'm saying here, net investment is the newly added capital stock. So this 400 billion is what is newly added, the addition to that. Is that okay? So you can write that also, guys, in your answer. Okay, fine. Capital stock of a country is generated through investment. Investment is generated through savings. Therefore, relation between capital. You can add that also, but that is not a main point. But yes, you can add. You can say there is another question on that. I'll show you. I think that was the 2015 question 9. Okay. Yes, investment is created through savings. Yes, you can say investment is necessary for economic growth. You can put points like that as well. But these are the main points. Other points are fine. You can say investment generated through savings. Investment is important for economic growth in a country. Yeah, all of that also you all can add. So can you all use these points and formulate a nice answer? Can do that. Come up with a nice answer so that you all can, write. Okay, done. Then we'll move to the next one. Fine, guys. Any questions? Anyone? Yep. Okay, done. Then next one, question number 4. What measures can be taken to improve productivity of human resources of a country? So there are human resources. How can we improve their productivity, guys? Tell me some simple methods. What can we do? Gross and net investment, it will be nice to give that. You can provide training. Okay. Provide education. Okay. What else? Okay, so training, education, that's this thing. Okay. Proper motivation. Okay. Yes, you can implement division of labor and specialization. That will also improve the productivity of the people. Yeah, so under motivation, you can have pay more wage, encouraging the people. So we'll have financial and non-financial here. Financial plus non-financial. What about their health, guys? Providing proper health facilities. Yeah, providing proper nutrition and health facilities. So only if they are more healthy and they are nutritious, only then they can do something, right? Nutrition and health facilities. So under this, you can have, let's say, insurance and all of that. Job security can come under motivation itself. Yeah. So these guys, you don't have to go and explain also. They're only asking you kind of what no. So you can say these kind of measures, right? So maybe you can write a little bit of longer things. So you can say, for example, providing training such as vocational training, right? Such as vocational training for the employees, right? So providing education in terms of, let's say, ordinary levels, advanced level, degree programs, those motivation. So you can give some examples, right? Higher pay, maybe encouragement, promotions, let's say other benefits, different things. Then implementation of division of labor. So you can expand your point a little. That's all right. So you don't have to go and write paragraphs and paragraphs for a question like that, because they're simply asking you what are the measures. Is that okay, guys? Manageable? Okay. Questions? Right. Then we go to the fifth question. Okay. Explain how the problem of choice of production technology is solved in a market economy. So what is this production technology? Is it what to produce, how to produce, or whom to produce? What are they asking? They're asking, how does a market economy answer the question, how to produce? That's what they're asking. So, okay, there was a question. Yes, motivation, incentives, some are the same. Okay, so how to predict? So how do we do that? Let me get the answer from my tube itself, guys. Second, market economic system, how to produce. Okay, so you can expand this answer a little, given that they are giving you 4 marks. I'll show you how to expand. Okay, yes, I'll show you the previous one, don't worry. So you can say the problem of how to produce will be solved mainly using the price signals by the factor market. So that is based on price mechanism. The private enterprise functioning with the objective of profit maximization will use the method that minimizes their cost and maximizes their profit. So the decision is made between labor intensive and capital intensive. You can say, for example, right, let's say in order to produce a certain amount of good, if it would cost, let's say 10,000 to produce it using labor, and let's say 20,000 to produce it using capital, labor looks the cheaper option, so they would select labor. So you can give an example also to prove in your answer. Is that okay? That kind of thing is enough, guys. So I'll keep that answer there. Okay, previous question, this was the answer. Okay, fine, can handle how to produce in a market economy. That's okay. Okay, it's not that hard. Okay, done. Right, so we'll go into question number 2, and then I'll give you all a break quickly. Okay. Okay, now this one is easy. Explain production possibility curve using a diagram. They're asking you to explain what is a production possibility curve. So can you all tell me what is a production possibility curve? What are the key points that you should include when talking about a PPC? What are the key points? A production possibility curve shows what? A PPC illustrates. Again, let me copy and paste it. What does it illustrate? These main things you can highlight. Okay, it illustrates the potential output, correct? So you can say, what does the PPC illustrate? Recording, I'll keep the same thing since it's the 2014 one. So the next one, remind me, okay, to pop it. Okay, so we'll say that a PPC illustrates what? A PPC illustrates the maximum possible output combinations of 2 goods an economy can produce when it uses all of its resources. So that is what we have over here. Then you can say a product PPC also shows what? The potential output of a country. Oops. Okay, it also shows the potential output of a country. And then you can also go and say, guys, you can talk about the determinants of a PPC. Okay, so you can talk, what are the determinants, guys, of a PPC? That I'm not going into detail. The determinants of a PPC, number one is your resource endowment, or we call it your factor endowment, how much of resources you have. And the second one is what? Second one is your resource productivity or factor productivity. You can also talk about the assumptions if you want. Okay, what are the assumptions? Remember, producing only two goods. Producing only two goods. Stock of resources are constant in terms of quality and quantity, right? Then you can talk about considers a given point of time, a given period, given time period. Technology is constant. That you can talk about those. These are not very essential. You can just highlight a little. But you also have to talk about the diagram, guys. So you need to say, right, the slope of a PPC. Yeah, that's what I said. These are not essential. If you want, you can just write. Okay, not essential. So you can say the slope of a PPC depends on the opportunity cost. Then you can say a PPC with constant opportunity cost would have a straight line of a slope. A PPC with increasing opportunity cost will have a concave slope. So that is essential. Why? Because in the question they're asking to explain using a diagram. So when they say explain using a diagram, your PPC is important. So you have to draw a diagram and you need to show, guys. Is that okay? Manageable? Fine. Can show those small parts there. Okay. Yes, you can draw both increasing and constant and show. Even one, I think, is enough. Yeah, but you can draw both and show. Not that you will lose anything. Yeah, even increasing is also okay. But I know, to be on the safer side, I would draw both and show. Okay. Should we show scarcity? No, not needed. You don't have to show scarcity and all of that. You can just normally show and you can label it. You don't have to go and plot any points and do anything there. Okay, right. Next one. Oops. So this one, guys, okay. Constant and increasing. We can write examples. Examples like what? For increasing and constant opportunity cost. Maybe you don't have to go into that detail because they're not asking that much. So they're just asking you to explain production possibility curve using a diagram. So you don't have to go into that detail and talk about examples of this and even the reasons for increasing and constant. I feel it's not needed. Okay. Okay. Explain the reasons for increasing opportunity cost when resources are utilized in production. Yes, I'll do this question. I'll give you all a break, guys. Okay, what are the reasons for increasing opportunity cost? We would have discussed this before. Now, remember in MCQs, what can I say? Resources are hetero, increasing opportunity cost, not homogeneous. Resources are heterogeneous. So how can you explain, guys? You can say the resources used in one industry is different from another. For example, maybe you can take two industries. You can say, for example, if we consider the baking industry and the mobile phone industry, the resources you can say in a baking industry, you would use an oven, a baker, baking powder. But in a mobile phone industry, the resources are da. So you can give in a small explanation like that. Resources are heterogeneous. Then you can say, what can I say? Resources efficient for one industry, resources efficient for one industry will not be efficient for the other. So for example, let's say a baker who might be very efficient in the let's say baking industry might not be efficient in producing a mobile phone. So you can, provide a small explanation like that. And then you can say, yes, there are technological differences. So the technology used to produce the two goods are different. So that kind of thing, but you have to explain it, guys. Now, when I say explanation, it doesn't have to be pages and pages. A small thing should be okay. Law of diminishing margin, I've not gone into detail there. Guys, have you all learned something like that under this? I, in general, don't teach, I don't connect the law of diminishing margins with increasing opportunity cost. Okay, so maybe then you all can give in that as well. I haven't gone into depth and I haven't so maybe since some of you all I got that on the chat box twice, so maybe yes, but I don't think it's a main one, right? So you can say law of diminishing margin. So if a couple of you all have learned, then that's okay. Marginal return. Okay, so you can give in that also. Okay, so but you have to explain, guys. Just stating the points is not enough. You have to go a little bit in detail and you will have to explain. Okay, then we go to the last two questions. Okay, so we'll quickly go to these questions, right? These questions are easy, right? I'll just show you all the PPC. Explain the following events by using a production possibility curve diagram. Okay, I want you all to tell me this. Returning of a significant number of professionals who had been in foreign countries. What do you think happens to your PPC? This is your PPC. What will happen if people who were working abroad are now coming back to your country? What do you think happens? PPC will shift. Okay, where will it shift? It will shift the right, or it will shift outwards. Why? Because when more people come into your country, remember, calling determinants of PPC, your labor resource is increasing. Now you have more people in your country, so your labor resource increasing means PPC will shift right. So what is your explanation now? Your explanation should be this. You can say, as a result of more professionals returning back to Sri Lanka, the labor resource in the country, or returning back to the country, the labor resource in the country would increase. As a result, the country would now be able to produce a much higher combination or a much larger combination of goods and services. This results in an outward shift of the PP. Some same thing you just have to explain. Okay, done. Then this one, destruction of capital resources of a country due to a natural disaster. Now there has been a natural disaster, let's say tsunami or something like that. Capital resources in a country have got destroyed. What can you think? Then the PPC would shift inwards. Yeah, so there would be a inward shift. What can be your explanation? Your explanation can say, as a result of a natural disaster, right, the destruction of capital resources would reduce the resource endowment, would reduce the amount of resources that the country has. As a result, the amount of goods and services produced that can be produced will decrease. This can be illustrated using an inward shift of the PPC. Look, this is not really an economic depression. This natural disaster is not really economic depression. Don't write depression there. Okay? Right. Third one, use of unutilized rural resources in the production due to the expansion of a road network. So the road network has improved. Let's say Mahinda KMN has now built highways. As a result, the rural resources, let's say the labor in the rural areas, they have got jobs, right? Maybe some resources the rural areas are being used. What do you think, guys? What's happening here? This is a decrease in unemployment, right? So earlier rural resources were not used because no proper road network and all. Those people can't come to work, so they don't have jobs and all. But now the road network has developed. Now these rural resources are being used. Now think and tell me, guys, is it a shift or is it a point moving? Think. It's a decrease in unemployment. This is the point movement, guys. So you're moving now. Earlier you had unemployment. You're now moving towards the PPC. Now, why are you not shifting the PPC? Now, a shift in the PPC, remember I told you, you will only shift the PPC if the determinants of a PPC changes. Because determinants on the sense, is the amount of labor increasing here? No, no. Is the amount of capital increasing? No. Labor, capital, everything is the same. The resources you have is the same. The only thing that is happening is you're utilizing these resources now. The resources which were unemployed are now being used in the economy. So therefore, there is a point moving towards the PPC. So you can explain that story. Then the last one, how do we show this? A rapid expansion of the tourism industry in comparison to the garment industry. So you will have to, for example, draw the PPC for both. You have to draw tourism and garment. So they are saying a rapid expansion of the tourism industry in comparison to the garment industry. How are you going to show this case? How can you show it? You can show a shift on the tourism industry. So tourism can be either the vertical or the horizontal axis. So you can show a shift like this. I feel this is also correct, guys. Now, for example, right, you can even show this like this. Now, they are saying a rapid increasing in the tourism compared to garment. So they are not saying that the garment is not growing. No. So maybe what you can do is you can show it like this also. For example, garment industry grows a little, but tourism grows a lot. Now, see, this is garment, this is tourism. Even this should be correct, guys, because they are not saying that only the tourism industry is growing. No. I think they should give you marks for both 1 and 2. For this option where you're showing only the tourism industry growing, or you're showing the garment is also growing, but tourism is growing more. So both of it, you should get answers. You should get a correct answer. Why? Because they say a rapid expansion of the tourism industry compared to the garment industry. That means garment industry is also growing, but compared to that, tourism has grown more. So maybe even that is correct. Is that okay, guys? Manageable? Fine. Can we shift from one point to another point to another, but both points are inside the PPC? Yes, you can, but it has, the point should go towards the PPC. It doesn't have to touch the PPC. It has to go towards the PPC in the third one. You don't have to go exactly on the PPC. I have a problem with writing answers. Should I start to write, and what do I write? How to overcome that problem? That you have to write, and it's a practice, guys. So have a normal theory or a revision tute that you have, write your notes. So first study your notes, and then when you get a question, look at your note given and answer. So look at those notes and try to answer. Then you compare it with the past paper answer and see. Like you all have the past paper book, compare it with that and see how it is. Then correct it. So then you get some sort of idea. So you can't develop answer writing by just reading, guys. So first, most important is to have a proper set of notes. Now, without having the theory knowledge, you can't write answers. That's a different story. So you should hopefully either in school or a theory class or revision class, you're learning that. And then whatever you learned, you're now putting it into writing. So one, see whether you have the proper theory knowledge. Then at least even look at the tute and answer. That's completely fine. Okay. The last one. Question 4. The combination of good X and Y which can be produced in an economy under the given technology with full utilization of existing resources are given in the following table. Product A and product combinations A, B, C, D, E, F, X and Y. Calculate the opportunity cost between the product combinations A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F. According to information given in the above table, will there be an opportunity cost when the economy shifts from producing 40 units of X and 60 units of Y to 60 units and that? Okay. So can you all quickly, because I'm not going to do the calculation for you all, right? I'll just do one calculation for you. So how do you do this? Opportunity cost when moving from point A to B. So at point A, you're producing 0 units of X, 150 units of Y. So how do you find marginal opportunity cost, guys? It is your foregone units, right? How much you forego divided by your gained number of units. So when you go from A to point B, what are you foregoing? You're sacrificing 10 units of Y, right? You're sacrificing 10. What are you gaining? 20 units of X, 0 to 20. So what is your opportunity cost? Your opportunity cost is 0.5, 0.5 what? Always give opportunity cost based on what you're sacrificing. So what are you sacrificing? Y. So 0.5 units of Y. Okay, that is how you do it. Then let me show you one more. Okay, let's take E to F. Okay, so when you go from point E to F, let's say you're going from E to F, you can draw the PPC also if you want. Not needed, but you can draw. Okay, E to F. So at point E, you're producing 80x 71. When you go from E to F, what are you doing? Let me use a different color. When you go from E to F, you're sacrificing 70 units of Y. Yeah, foregone 70, gaining 20 units of X. So gaining 20. What is your listing? 70 divided by 20, you get 3.5 units of Y. That is your opportunity cost. So can you calculate that way, guys, for all the points A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E? Can handle. Foregone divide by gain. So when you go from this point to this point, see how much units are you foregoing, how many units are you gaining. Okay, part A. Any questions? Fine. Guys, are all okay with that part A? Can handle. Okay. Then, according to the information given in the above table, will there be an opportunity cost in the economy when shifts from 40 units of X and 60 units of Y? Now, here guys, what I would recommend is to draw the PPC. Okay. So you can draw the PPC. Okay, based on these numbers, you draw the PPC. So let's say this is X, this is Y. You have 0x 150y. So y here is 150. The other one is 100x 0 this. Okay, so PPC is like this. Okay, and then you mark all the points A, B, C, D. You mark all the points. Then go and see where is this point. What point? The 40 units of X and 60 units of Y. So once you draw the PPC, you will realize this 40 units of X and 60 units of Y is a point inside the PPC. Did you all try drawing that? Yes. You all figure out this 40 and 60, 40 of X and 60 of Y is a point inside the PPC. Yeah, so draw the PPC, right? I'm not going to draw it one by one with you all. Once you all draw the PPC and then mark and see where you have 40 units of this and 50 units of 60 of this. You will see it's a point inside the PPC. Then you're moving from this point to a point towards the PPC. That is what is happening. From this to 60 units of X and 80 units of Y. So based on this case, do you think there is an opportunity cost? What do you all think? They're asking, is there an opportunity cost? Your answer is no, there is no opportunity cost. Why? You can say your reason is when the economy is producing 40 units of X and 60 units of Y, resources are unemployed. Therefore, when they increase, now you don't even have to go, you don't even have to draw the diagram. Just see, guys, see when you're going now, you were producing 40X, 60Y. X also you're increasing. 40 units of X is becoming 60 units of X. 60 units of Y is becoming 80 units of Y. So you're increasing X and Y both. Are you sacrificing anything? No, no. You have increased the production of X also. You have increased the production of Y also. So you are you're not sacrificing anything. So therefore, you can say there is no opportunity cost because when you're going from this point to this point, you're increasing both X and Y. Opportunity cost happens when you sacrifice something. You're not sacrificing anything there. Is that okay? Fine. That's a very interesting, nice question. Okay. Done. Okay, so shall we take a small break and then come back for the 2015 question?